What's going on, YouTube? It's Trevor here. I'm feeling slightly under the weather, so I'm not going to put my face in this video. I'm just going to kind of screenshot my iPad, do a voiceover, and see what you guys think. I might do this for the next 3 to 4 days, and after that, once I start feeling better, I'll get a camera back on me, and we can go from there. But today, a much anticipated update on Spirit AeroSystems stock. I made a video on this stock 2 to 3 months ago at sub 20 levels. And now we're seeing this stock today at sub 40 levels. Why is Spirit still a buy at these levels? Well, here is my bullish thesis in a nutshell. Alrighty, YouTube, so before we get too far into the video of why Spirit is such a highly undervalued growth stock, please like the video, subscribe to my channel. I really want to get to 1,000 subs by the end of 2021. So any support you guys can give the channel, I really appreciate it. And honestly, just liking and subscribing helps out the very most. It's the most you could do for me, and I appreciate every single like and every single subscribe. You guys are the best. So over a 100% gain from when I called it out and when I told people that I was buying. And honestly, I'm kind of pissed off at myself for not buying option calls contracts expiring maybe 2022, 2023, because I would be up massively on them. And there's very little risk looking back on it, because I saw that it wasn't really going to fall past 18 to 19, but nevertheless, you know, here we are. I made my money from the shares, and I'm still holding on to them. Don't get me wrong. At these levels, I still believe that Spirit is a buy at these levels, but especially for me and anyone that got in sub 20, just congratulations. Doing your due diligence, and as long as you do your own due diligence and you have conviction in your stock picks, you should do fantastically in this market coming 2021 as well. So let's get right into it. This is a map of Spirit AeroSystems and all the locations they have worldwide. They've got 5 different locations here in the United States, 4 in Europe, as well as 1 in Subang, Malaysia. And the plants they have down in Malaysia are growing astronomically. They're taking advantage of that Malaysia plant at every chance they can. They added the Belfast, Northern Ireland plant this fall through the deal that they had with Bombardier. Alright guys, you remember that acquisition of Bombardier's assets in Northern Ireland that I brought up earlier? Well, we're about to talk about that now. And boy, oh golly, is this a big one. You're not going to want to miss this. This is a game changer for Spirit. Alright guys, here's the specifics that we need to know before we invest any of our money into Spirit. So check it out. It says here on October 30th, 2020, that Spirit announced through its wholly owned subsidiaries its acquisition of select assets of Bombardier Aerostructures and Aftermarket Services businesses in Belfast, Northern Ireland, known as Short Brothers, Casablanca, Morocco, and Dallas, United States. Tom Gentile, the CEO, says, "We are excited to finalize this strategic and transformational acquisition. The acquired sites bring expertise in engineering, innovation, and advanced composites, and also aligns with our strategic priorities. With the addition of these sites, Spirit acquires the entire work package for the A220 wing manufacturing processes and technology, which are critical for the future of next-generation aircraft, and doubles our global world-class aftermarket services business." This is huge! The next paragraph is even more telling. The acquired Bombardier operations employ approximately 3,300 people at 3 sites comprising approximately 3.4 million square feet. The backlog of work includes long-term contracts on the Airbus A220 and Bombardier business jets, along with world-class aftermarket services at 2 of the acquired sites. Last paragraph says, at closing, Spirit UK paid $275 million to Bombardier and acquired certain liabilities as previously disclosed, including the Short Brothers PLC pension scheme and financial payment obligations under a repayable investment, blah, 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 blah. It says, on the first anniversary of closing, Spirit will make a special contribution of $130 million to the Short's pension scheme. The total enterprise valuation of the acquisition is $865 million, guys. $865 million. They paid $275 for all the assets, and then they're paying another $130 in pension fees to employees. You add up $275 and $130, that's only around $400 million when you just got assets worth $865 million, right? So they paid a 50% premium on these manufacturing sites. And to think that these sites are just run-of-the-mill, everyday, manufacturing sites with just regular CNC machines, or they're just fabricating aluminum or steel or something like that. No. This is composite wing manufacturing. This is huge. I can tell you guys, composite manufacturing in the aerospace sector is booming. And then in the future, this is what we will see grow the most. It won't be making airplanes out of aluminum like we've been doing for the past 100 years. It's going to be composites. They're cheaper, faster, stronger, etc. You can just you can look up composite aircraft on Google for yourself, and you can see what I'm talking about. Composite is definitely the way of the future. And so not only that, but let's get to the next point on why I'm so why this makes me so bullish on Spirit for the short term and the long term. Okay, guys, at the end of the day, we all know there's only two players in the consumer-based commercial passenger jet space. That's Boeing and that's Airbus. So if you can diversify your company enough to where you have a whole bunch of Boeing work, and then you keep adding on Airbus work, and you keep adding on composite work, composite machines, composite machinery, composite technicians, composite experience, education. Spirit already knows how to fabricate aluminum. I can tell you that right now. They can hydroform parts, they can break form parts, they can roll form, they can stretch form. They can do all these things basically in-house. They're so big. And they have the opportunity to offload all this work and take a profit right off the top simply because they're so big. But when they have the ability to diversify like this, I mean, on what planet do we live in that Spirit is not in a better position than it was a year ago, 2 years ago, pre-crisis? I mean, we have the 737 MAX coming back with a vengeance. And not only that, you've now diversified into the only two companies in the entire world that make commercial aircraft. And now you're a significant part of both business plans, essentially. You're almost indispensable to both of these companies, but you can work for whoever you want to, because you are simply a supplier. So like I said before, on what planet is Spirit not set up for prime time success over the next 1 year, 2 years, 3 years, 5 years, 7 years, barring some sort of black swan event that causes the market to crash, the economy to crash, something like that would cause an overall market crash? I don't see Spirit dropping below 30. And if it does, that's just prime buying opportunity. And even at these levels, I'd argue that it's a pretty good buying opportunity because they just keep diversifying. They keep adding more technology, R&D. Their balance sheet is solid. And they're diversifying their work at the end of the day in ways that OEMs like Boeing and Airbus can't. They don't have the opportunity to diversify their work because they design all their stuff. They manufacture a lot of their stuff as well, but a lot of times they just send it out because there's places better at manufacturing than them, i.e. Spirit AeroSystems. All right, I just wanted to give you a quick glimpse of what the A220 actually looks like, exterior, interior. This is what Spirit is now going to be manufacturing the composite wings for. It's for this passenger jet here, which has a pretty extensive backlog on it, if I remember correctly. This is a frequently used in Air Canada, as well as I believe in Europe. So Spirit AeroSystems is one of those crazy stocks you can kind of classify as a value, growth, and dividend play. Yeah, all three. Kind of crazy. As far as a value play, we know this stock was over $100 December 2019. It's December 2020 today, and it's sub 40. So if that tells us anything, as long as the business fundamentals haven't gone wrong, which we see they have not, there's nothing changed in the fundamentals of Spirit AeroSystems. In fact, they've done nothing but grow, which, on to my next point, they're a growth stock. I just had up the partnership that they have now with Virgin Hyperloop, designing a prototype with them. So who knows what they can do there? They've also integrated themselves further with the United States military. So they're growing in that sector, as well as they just bought Bombardier out for the Ireland plant at half the price that they were discussing pre-crisis, pre-pandemic. So look at them. They're making all the right moves. Tom Gentile, the CEO, he's a badass. And I talked about that in the previous video, that he knows what he's doing, and he's driven this company to massive profits over the past 5 years. So last is the dividend play. And as of right now, I believe they only have 1 cent per share dividend. It's not even a percent. It's just a 1 cent per share deal. So keeping that in mind, it's not the biggest dividend. But I think possibly over the next year to 2 years, they will give a bigger dividend and possibly change their and possibly change their formatting that they'll give for the dividend. So really, when I look close at it, I put Spirit AeroSystems in that category, kind of with Wynn Resorts. Wynn Resorts obviously has much more backing. The market cap is a lot bigger. People are much more bullish generally as a sector on gambling post-pandemic than they are flying or aerospace sectors. But I don't necessarily believe that myself. I think that both sectors are going to proliferate over the next 2, 3, 5 years. Because at the end of the day, people are going to go to Vegas, people are going to go to Macau, for Wynn Resorts, and they're going to spend a lot of money there. But people are also going to travel, and anytime you travel across the sea, unless you want to take a boat or some sort of Elon Musk submarine or something, you're going to have to fly. Personally, I know in a few months I'm taking a trip to Cancun over spring break, so I'll be flying, and it doesn't really bother me too much to fly. I'll wear a mask, I'll keep my social distancing going. The airlines now allow you to pick basically where you sit on the plane. So yeah, I'm feeling somewhat comfortable about it. It's going to be my first time on a plane since the crisis started, but I'm looking forward to it.